Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Coding Lab. I'm Dr. Ali Roman, and today we're talking about Python. We'll be using the computer programming language Python for the next few episodes. In the 1990s, colleges and high schools used to use Pascal to teach computer science. By the 2000s, they moved over to Java, which is closely connected with C++ and C. And for the past 10, 15 years, colleges have been using Python to teach computer science concepts. Python is considered versatile, and the language is considered a bit simpler, easier to learn than other programming languages, and it's still a pretty powerful programming language. There are websites, web applications. These are applications, not the applications that you download on an iPhone or an Android phone, applications that are sitting there on the web applications that are created out of Python. Some famous websites that are basically web applications include WordPress and the old Blogger website from Google. I can't remember if WordPress is made using Python, but that's an example of a web application. So some of these web applications, these websites are powered by Python on the back end, so to speak. We'll talk about what back end refers to in the front end. So the most basic websites that are made out of Python, the most basic program that newcomers learn is the famous Hello World program, which is a program that very simply outputs the phrase Hello World. So how do we get started with Python? Rather than downloading all sorts of software and applications, we're just going to use something called a Python playground. So this is a website. If you type in Trinket, Trinket, trinket.io/features/Python3, you will be taken to a website that reads Python 3 trinkets, the easiest way to use the full power of Python 3, the third version of Python. And this is a Python playground, which means that you can, on the left side of the screen, you can create a program, and the lines of the program are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you push play here to run the program, the output will show up on the right side. Sometimes the output will just be text. Sometimes the output will be something more visual, like a kind of a graphic. And here we are just outputting the text. We're trying to create a program that when we push play, when we run the program, it will simply output for us, the user, the phrase hello world. And we do that using the print function. So here on line 2, we will write the word print, and in parentheses, we will write the phrase hello world. And we won't use double quotes. We will use a single quote. So parentheses, single quote, hello world, and then closing the single quote, parentheses. And when we push play, we should see the phrase hello world. And it's running it, connecting to the server. There it is, hello world. And there's a few ways we can edit this program to see how else, what other types of things can we print? How else can we make this a little bit more complicated, more advanced? So here's one way of making this more advanced. We can write hello world, period. And then let's close that with a single quote. Let's add the plus sign here, and let's write something else. Let's write, let's go back to the first phrase, hello world, period, space. And then, so that it'll output hello world. Well, first of all, let's see what that looks like. Hello world, period, space. So we're writing print, space, open parentheses, open quote, like a single quote, hello, space world, period, space, close quote, close the parentheses. And if we run that, it will read hello world again, but with a period. Now, the reason I put an extra space after period here is because we're now going to add a plus at the end of hello world, period, close quote. Add a space plus another space, open quote, and I'm writing another phrase. This is our first program, period. And we close that quote. Now, if I run this, we should see both phrases, hello world, period, space, this is our first program. And there it is, hello world, period, space, this is our first program. The reason the word program is on the next line in this compiler is because I didn't expand the window. If I expand the window a bit, you'll see here now it's on the first, it's all in one line. Let's say we did want to skip a line between hello world in the line number 2 of our program, and then on line number 4 we have print hello world, period. This is our first program. Now, in our program, there's a space between these two lines of code. In the output, there is no line separating the two lines of code. So what if we want to add a line separating hello world from hello world, this is our first program? What if we want a line in the middle? Well, we can go to line 2 here on our, so line, let's move everything up. All right. So line 1 in our program reads print hello world. Line 3 is print hello world, and this is our first program. Now, let's say we want to have this gap between these two lines. Let's say we want that gap to appear in the output. Currently, it does not. One way to do this is after hello world in the first line, print. So here we have print space, open parentheses, open quote, single quote, hello world, close quote, and close parentheses. Now, before the close parentheses, I'm going to add I'm going to add a comma after the close quote, which follows world. Hello world, close quote, comma, space, and equals, open quotes. This will be a double quote this time, and I think it's \n, and then close double quote, close parentheses. That should add a gap. Let's push play here. It didn't. Now let's see if it's a, it's not a /n. All right, it's supposed to, I think it's supposed, then it might be a single quote. And play. All right, let's see if we do it this way. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I think this is what it is. If I add a comma after hello world, space, and I write end equals single quote \n, and then close quote, and I push play, it does not add a new line. This is a kind of redundant. So when you print a line, hello world, this thing that I added here is more or less embedded automatically into the end of the thing that you're printing. So if I write print hello world, it already is skipping a line. So if I add comma, end equals quote, \n quote, close parentheses, I don't have to do that because the program, the print function already includes this particular function here. And this end equals quote, \n quote, that basically just tells the program to move to the next line. So it automatically does that. Every time you have a new print function, it'll start your new print function on a new line. So what I need to do is I need to actually write the plus, I think it's quote, \n, close quote. This is the double quote, push play. There it is. So that's how you would create a line separating these two lines. So I have here on line 1, print, parentheses, apostrophe, hello world, close apostrophe, space, plus, space, quote, \n quote, parentheses, close parentheses. And that plus quote \n creates a new blank line after this print function here. And then when you start the next line 3 here, print hello world plus this is our first program, that gap is now visible. I could have removed this gap from here. I could have made line 3, line 2, pushed play, and it'll still come out that way. So the plus quote \n is creating a new line. So kind of interesting. So there you go. That is our first little program. It is print. It is print space open parentheses, open single quote, hello world, close single quote, space plus space, open double quote, \n, close double quote, close parentheses. And then the next line, print space open parentheses, open single quote, hello world, period, space, close single quote, space plus space, open single quote. This is our first program, period, close single quote, close parentheses. And the output here is hello world, and then there's a blank line, and then hello world. This is our first program. Very cool.